So, what the heck is going on south of Kursk in Russia? Now, I'm here in Las Vegas for a podcast, and it seems like whenever I travel, something happens, right? And it looks like Ukraine actually invaded Russia. And this is something they've done twice before, usually with Freedom for Russian Legion or ethnic Russians who are fighting on the side of Ukraine. But this appears to be at least a brigade, maybe two brigades, actually entering Russia north of Sumy, south of Kursk, and actually capturing Russian soldiers and capturing vehicles. So, looking at the actual frontage, it almost looks like this is about 70 or so miles, maybe a little over 100 kilometers of front. And typically, you need a division to cover like 25, 40 miles of front. So normally this would be like a 2-division operation. So I'm not sure what Ukraine is actually doing here. I'm not sure if this is a raid, because it doesn't appear like Ukraine is left. I'm not sure if Ukraine is trying to perform some kind of deep strike in order to destroy something tactical. When Jake Bro picked me up from the airport last night, Jake was like, he thought that Ukraine was trying to go after some kind of natural gas shipping yard or connection line or something. And, maybe, but, why wouldn't you use a missile for that, right? So I'm not entirely sure what they're doing. And the only thing I can think of is that perhaps Ukraine detected that Russia wanted to open up another front. And so Ukraine decided to attack into Russia to create that dilemmas, not problems for Russia. Like, oh my God, I need to shift troops up further north to protect that area. Now, the other question is, how the heck did Ukraine do that? How did they get what I am guessing right now is 2 brigades into Sumy and then over into the border? Because I've said it before on podcasts that essentially the lines in Ukraine are static. And they're static. I am parched. It is so hot out in Las Vegas. And essentially, the lines are static because both countries have such good ISR, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, that essentially you can't build up anything more than a company, or else you're going to get detected, either because of your thermal properties of your vehicle, because of the visual properties of a whole bunch of vehicles being lined up ready to go, signals, your vehicle's emitting radio signals. It's impossible to form up anything more than a company. But somehow Ukraine did it. And the only thing I can think of is that maybe since Sumy is so close to the border, maybe they hid those vehicles under buildings or something. I don't know. Or the other option is that Russia just isn't looking there. So if you're not looking in a certain area, you can build up as many forces as you want. So that's certainly a possibility. And there's the other possibility of Russia might have seen forces being built up there and decided to ignore it. That happens. So it could just be that there were some Russians who were like watching the Ukrainians build up south of Kursk or in Sumy, and they're going, they're not going to do anything. So it's an interesting situation. I think the one reason I wanted to make this video, I haven't actually helped you understand anything in this video. This is really a video of me kind of going on this open, free form thinking here. Because I don't know why Ukraine did it. I don't know how they did it. But one thing that Ukraine has constantly shown during so many of its operations is audacity. It's this audacity of, I'm going to go into Russia and I am going to go north of that border. I'm going to shoot everybody who's not wearing the same thing as me, except civilians, and keep going until I'm told to stop. And that's just, the level of creativity that Ukraine has displayed during this entire conflict is absolutely amazing. And this is going to be studied for years to come. Typically, if this particular event were a raid, it would be over by now. And as of today, Ukraine still seems to be south of the city of Kursk. And what's the other interesting thing? So Kursk was actually the site of a massive battle between the German army and the Russian army. I think it was the largest battle ever, or at least the largest tank battle ever. So the idea of the idea of seeing like German martyrs, which is an armored fighting vehicle back in Russia in Kursk, that's kind of interesting. That was not on my bingo card for 2024, right? So that's kind of what's going on right now. I know about as much as you. This one kind of blindsided me. I had no idea that Ukraine would be attacking in that direction. And when it did happen, I thought, oh, this is a raid. And I wake up and, wow, they're still there. So I'm not entirely sure why they're doing it. But at this point, I think it's safe to say that it's not some kind of a raid, that Ukraine is there for some tactical reason. Thank you guys for watching. Now I got to get to a podcast.
Oh man, I'm so bored!
Christ on crutches with a permanent profile. That's because you have the wrong toys. You need a Ryan McBeth Inaction figure from the Knife Hand Company. That's right, Ryan McBeth Inaction figures go everywhere. Put them on your desk, your Crocs, your keychain. You can even ask Ryan advice.
Ryan, why does Daddy ignore me when I'm over his house for the weekend?
Because your new mommy is way hotter than your old mommy. Trading cards. You get a free trading card in every box. Now that's Ryan-rific. So come on down to the Knife Hand Company and get your Inaction figure today.
Alcoholism, cigarettes, and non-service connected hearing loss sold separately.